Okay, there we go. All right, everyone, are you excited for host coaching? Yay!
Yes, ma'am.
Where you get your money, right? That's your bread and butter. That's the good stuff right there. So congratulations, first of all, you guys, halfway through the training of Director Bound. Super exciting that you only have 3 weeks left. Been worth it so far, right? Learning lots of things. Everybody's brains are like full and lots of stuff going on in there. I'm gonna take my glasses off. Get a glare. I'll just like squint. No. Okay, so again, congratulations. Really exciting. You know, so far we've gone through being able to increase our product knowledge, right? Everyone's been playing with their products more, doing your live videos on Facebook and in parties, cooking parties and such. Be able to reinforce your product knowledge and your comfort and your confidence in the products. That's going to help, of course, to maximize your sales and to also get your bookings. You know, when people see the potential, when you're sharing features and advantages and benefits of the products, that's what's going to get them to book, and that's what we want, right? So we already learned about our belief and how it just kind of helps to reinforce those skills. Like I said, about the product knowledge and everything. And we got some more training on out and about, right? So talking to people more when you're out and about, ways to get bookings, parties, okay? So now we're going to talk about the host coaching, right? Where we get our bigger paycheck, right? That's the best way to get yourself a raise, because really, you know, most of us do as many parties as we're able to on our calendar. And so the best way that you can take your time and make the most of it is to be able to have a higher commission, right? Everybody wants a higher commission. That's why we're all here to make successful businesses, right? Oh, you've heard it said before probably, but we all basically say is host coaching is where you're earning your paycheck. And then basically when you go to your show, whether it's a virtual show or whether it's a live show, catalog show, whatever the case may be, when you have the show, that's where you're picking your paycheck up, right? So you're earning your paycheck from your host coaching. So it's key, it's crucial. If you think that you're just going to book a party and then you're going to show up, or you're just going to throw together a group on Facebook and then all of a sudden orders are just going to be coming in, it's typically not the case, right? You have to coach your host on what needs to be done so that they can learn from you, the expert, on what needs to be done for them to have a successful party. So big question is, right, how do I host my coaches? How do I host my coaches? How do I coach my hosts? Words for a second. That's the big question, right? Everyone's always like, okay, I need help with that. It's something I struggle with, or it's something I want to do more of, or I'm always looking for tips. So biggest thing with this training, you guys, is there's a lot of different ideas. Some are mine, some are things that I do, some are ideas I've gotten from other people. You're going to want to kind of look through, think of the different ideas, and then just take a few things that you feel like would work for you, for your systems, for your schedule, and go with it. Don't feel like you need to kind of do everything. They're all different ways that you could be able to do your host coaching. So you're going to get ideas and tips and then decide what you want to do with it, okay? All right, so biggest thing is how many of you guys do cooking parties by any chance, of a show of hands? So like 4, and is there everybody else is strictly 5? So mostly everybody else is strictly virtual then after that. Okay, so we're going to talk about both, obviously the virtuals and the live cooking parties, but at your party, whatever it may be, whether it's a virtual party or whether it's a live cooking party, that's where you're going to start your coaching, your host coaching right off the bat, right? You're already talking to your guests about the product, you're talking to them about the host rewards. Everyone should be doing that at some point, depending on, no matter what kind of party it is, right? You always want to show them the host rewards chart, whether it be on a virtual party or at the party, and talk to them about the benefits of hosting a party. So you're really starting your host coaching right off the bat at each party, okay? you're going to talk to them about the best way to get what they want in the catalog, right? Which is them having a party of their own and then being able to take advantage of the same rewards that the host is having, okay? So at my live parties, I personally do give my hosts a packet or a box, depending on what I'm doing, because I switch things up sometimes at the party for their own party when they book. And then that's kind of where I start with them as well with their own personal host coaching for their party. And I do send them in the mail for virtual parties, people that book for virtual parties. And we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit more. Okay. So when you do the bookings with them, depending on at the party or in the virtual party, you're going to start talking to them right away. So what I do when it's a live party is in the host packet that I give them, or in the host box, depending on what I'm doing at the time, is I will go through it then and there when they book their party. I will go through the party planner with them. You guys all know where this is, right? This is what the folders that you get in your kit. This is the front and back. This is what the folders are. I don't use the folders that home office has on supply. I just print this out online, and then I either use my own bags to mail out my host packets. So I get these poly mailers that are different fun, like patterns and stuff, just something fun in the mail. Or I use my boxes that I bring to the parties for them to be able to take home with them. And we'll go through that in a minute too. But I always go through at a live party. I do go through this with them right away when I give them their host packet, and I'll say, okay, you know, and I write down the date and the time that they decided on. And then of course I tell them I will text them, and I always ask if texting is okay. I said, I'll text you tomorrow what your party link is, and you can start sending that to people right away. Be able to start collecting orders. So already I just booked a party with them at a party, at a live party, and I'm already going through this list. I always talk to them about, you know, collecting outside orders. I do put catalogs in their packet, order forms, and I talk to them about the order forms also. And then I like to write on these, like just to kind of make it a little bit more noticeable, because I feel like, I don't know if any of you guys feel the same way, but sometimes when things are just printed, it's not as eye-catching. So I tend to write on like the important things. So I'll star next to what I want them to do. And then I always say $1,000 because I want them to get to the $1,000. Right away, I do talk to them about the top 40 and talking to them the importance about when you invite 40 guests, because we know that 1/3 of people that we invite will be able to come, and then you're going to want to collect more outside orders besides those also. Okay, so I do go through that right away with them. Right off the bat. And then of course I go over it after I book the party with them as well. At the actual party is really where my host coaching begins. And that's the same thing with a virtual. I start right away with messaging them about their own party, when we're going to run it, and that I'm going to be sending them multiple messages regarding how to set up their party and how to invite people into the party. Okay. I took my glasses off. I could still see, but small. Okay, so biggest complaint that home office was getting from past hosts is that a lot of them were saying they didn't know what to do, okay? They felt like they weren't always in good communication with their consultants, and of course not all of us are like that, but some, I guess, maybe they're learning, or they're not really sure, or maybe they're inconsistent, or whatever the case may be. But the biggest thing is if you are not preparing them to have a successful party, then they're not going to know how to have it, and they really do look to you as the right? Because that's our job. That's what we're supposed to be able to do, is have them have a successful party, right? So just a quick question. I know the answer, but if you had a choice, would you rather have $1,000 party, or would you rather have a $300 party? Everyone says $1,000 party, right? Number one, $1,000 party, right? Okay, so you're going to get a $220 commission or more, depending on, you know, where you are in, if you're a director or if you have members. You're going to get a $220 commission off of a $1,000 party, or you're going to get $60 off of a $300 party. Yay! If that's a cooking party, that's like part of your gas. Like that's like a lot of gas right there. So we want to work smarter, not harder, right? So we want to end up having higher party sales than having to worry about the smaller party sales. The $1,000 party is 5 qualifying parties. So do you want to work 5 $200 parties, or do you want to work one really good $1,000 party, right? So it's our job to get our hosts through that $1,000 party so that they can be able to be super excited about their shopping spree. We can be super excited about our commission check. Everybody's happy, right? Win-win, okay? So we need to give them the path to be able to get to that, all right? So biggest thing is you are going to want to talk to your host right off the bat with their wish list. So if it's at a cooking party, items that they're talking about that they see in the catalog or that you've demoed that they like, that they talk about, oh, I really need, to have new cookware because my cookware is terrible and it's peeling and it sticks and yada, yada, yada. Or if they're in a virtual party and they're commenting on, oh my gosh, I love that idea, or oh, the ice cream maker looks awesome, my kids would love that. Whatever it is that they're already starting to get excited about, okay? If you don't know what that is, that's where you're gonna want to already get to know your host and get to know what their needs are. And this is very important. So you can do this a number of different ways. It's totally up to you. I personally think that the phone calls with your hosts are more beneficial. I was doing phone calls with my hosts for a really long time, and then I got out of the habit and I did more texting and messaging. And I really do feel like there's a lot to be said for them to hear your voice, hear that you're invested in helping them out, hear that you're excited, and then for them to be able to hear and feel that same excitement too for their party, okay? So it's totally your choice. But I think my preference is doing a phone call, and it doesn't have to be a long, elaborate phone call. Just let them know, hey, is there a time tonight that you're able to have a quick 15-minute phone call regarding the details of your party, and then and then set that up with them. But you want to ask, whether it be on messaging or texting or phone, but you want to ask them, like, how do they cook? Are they a 30-minute meal type person? Do they cook from scratch? Do they like their cookware? Are they happy with their knives? Different things so you can kind of have a better understanding of their kitchen and what their needs are. And then you can go from there, because you as the expert are the ones are the one that's going to be able to refer them to, oh, you're really strapped for time, or you have a lot of activities with your kids. Sounds like you would really benefit from using our quick cooker, or you would really benefit from using our Rock Crock slow cooker set, because you could be able to put in, your meal as you go off to baseball and you come home, or as you go out for the day in the morning, or whatever the case may be. If someone's telling you that they don't have a microwave, which I have a lot of hosts say, you're not going to be referring them to a lot of our microwavable products, right? Because that's not something that's going to work for them. So you want to get them excited about what's going to work for them, help them solve their problems and whatever their cooking dilemmas are, and then they're going to be invested more. Then they're going to be excited because they're going to see the value for them in the products that they want, right? So my comparison is, if you're going shopping for yourself and you get a shopping spree and they say, oh, you get to pick out any dress that you want in the whole store. And you're excited about getting a dress, and that's really fun to get it free, but you don't know what dress you want. You don't know what you want it to look like. You're not really sure. But if you said, oh, I saw this dress the other day, I tried it on, I felt amazing. I just felt like I could see myself wearing it at my brother's wedding or on vacation or whatever it is. I felt comfortable. I felt beautiful. It's something that made me really, really happy. They're going to get a bigger connection to that dress if they can, if they found out they can get that dress for free rather than just like a random one. So it's the same kind of concept where, you want them to be excited about their personal, their benefits for themselves personally in how the products are going to help them and help their cooking style and help their life. Okay. So once you get them to kind of figure out what their wish list is, then you're going to say, great, this is what we need to do to get you to get that rock crack for free, or whether we get you to get that knife block set for free, whatever the case is for them individually, okay? So you want to constantly keep those items in front of them so that they're remembering what it is that they want and that you are working together to get them there. If it's a virtual party that you're doing, those are products that you definitely want to showcase in that virtual party, because you can say, hey, this rock crack slow cooker does this, and it's on Amy's wish list, and she's super excited to get it for this party for free or for 60% off or whatever the case may be, okay? You want to let them know right off the bat about the host rewards. So I do, like I said, in the party planner, go in here with their host rewards. Of course, it's on the back of the catalog, and I do always point that out at my parties. It's on the back of the catalog, so I point it out to them and show them the host rewards chart for them also. But, you want to make sure that they're really aware of, hey, when your party's $1,000, you're going to get $215 for free of anything that you want in the catalog. You're also going to get to choose any 5 items at half price, and you're going to get to have the 60% off special for that particular month. On top of that, you're going to get 50% off item off every single person who books off your party, and 10% off for an entire year. And all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, like they knew they got stuff, but they didn't really know what. And some people know exactly what they're getting. They know what they're signing up for. And other people don't really pay attention. They just want to have fun at a party, or they enjoyed the games on the virtual party, or they like getting free stuff and they're not really sure what they want. They're just kind of doing it. So you want to make sure that they're realizing what the benefits are right off the bat, okay? And then, letting them know, okay, how does that sound to you? And then when, of course, they're like, yeah, that sounds amazing. Like, I'll take all that for free and for half price and 60% off. And you're like, great. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to have you invite at least 40 people, whether for a cooking party. I'm going to talk about that first. And, because we know that when you invite at least 40 people, then you're going to get 1/3 are not going to be able to come, won't be able to attend, but you're going to try to get, another, 5 to 10 outside orders from those that can't attend your party. Okay. That's going to help your sales. That's going to help you reach that $1,000 party so that we can get you all those things that we talked about before. When it's a virtual party, you're going to want to talk to them about how they're going to invite people. And there's a number of different ways that people do virtual parties. I know that everyone does them different. I've seen where people say, invite as many people as you can. I've seen it where, they say personally invite them. I know some people like to say you want to get at least like 40 to 60 people there on a virtual party. And then you want to private message your closest 15 to 20 and say, hey, I'm really excited about this party. I'm looking to get this. I was really hoping that you're going to be able to be, active and participate and in the party, ask any questions. It's a lot of fun. April does a really good job at the parties. I did the last one with her, and I'm really excited about it. Would you be able to just comment and post throughout and be really involved too? So that's more a personal touch as well. Okay. So it's just going to really depend on what it is that you want to do personally for those virtual parties. And sometimes people do them, the 1 hour party also, where they just go 1 hour live. So that's dependent on what your preference is really. Okay. So, like I said, you always want to remind them about those outside orders. And I always do remind them about the, those people that are not local. Sometimes people don't realize, and you really have to tell them because they're not used to doing this, but you have to tell them, hey, don't forget about those people that are not local. Maybe you have friends or family, somewhere else in the country because you've moved, or you have family in other places, or whatever the case may be. Just so anybody can get their orders directly shipped to them, and they don't have to be here, obviously, to be able to order from the party. So let them, kind of remind them about that also. Okay. Some people like to do reminders for their hosts in different ways. So there's a lot of different ways that you want to stay in front of your host besides your initial phone call, and texting and messaging throughout. Okay. So one way is, and these I got from Tiffany actually a few when I met her a couple years ago, and I printed them out my own. But these are the host coaching postcards that I like to use, and then I just printed them out on. I think I printed them at Staples, but they're all different ones. And then I just kind of throw like their address in the back. So I'll number them when I set up a party. And I'll say, okay, you know, I just scheduled Sarah's party. So this is going to be Sarah's, they're all going to get Sarah's address. This one's the first one that goes out. This one's the second one that goes out. This one's the third one that goes out, you know, fourth one. And then once I have getting ready to put it out, and I can put a date on here of when I'm going to send it out, depending on their party, then I just cover the date up with a stamp, and then I can send it out. And then of course a thank you card to be able to send out at the end. So that I can, you know, let them know that I am thankful for their business. But the postcards are really great to be able to keep in front of them. And I can't find the link of where she sent it to me, but I can have Tiffany post it. I'm sure she will if when she sees this back. But the first one was just talking about their wish list, or the second one actually. The first one was thanking them. You for hosting a party. I've blocked off the time on my calendar to spend with you and your friends. Best way I can show you to appreciate your appreciation is to partner with you to ensure the very best end result. Not only do I want to make sure you and your guests have a fun time, but I want to make sure that you get so many free products that you will need a second kitchen. I also want to let you know that your party will be qualifying me to our next incentive trip for Disney. How cool are you? You're a celebrity in my house right now. Looking forward to our time together. Okay, so second one's talking about wish lists, which you already started to go over with them, okay? And then third is, again, reinforcing their date and just kind of reminding them that it's coming up, because we all get so busy that really sometimes we don't realize the timing, and then they realize, oh my gosh, my party is next week, or my party is in 3 days, or whatever it is, okay? And then of course, like the thank you card. Another way is obviously texting people or messaging them to kind of stay in front of them. There is a refrigerator postcard that other consultants have used that they'll actually put right into their host packet. So when they give their host packet to their host, they have it right there, and they tell them to just put it onto the refrigerator to kind of remind them of some things that they need to do. I'm going to post that in the Direct Around group also. And there's also a Vistaprint link from the person that had designed it. So that's a really great option too, to stay in front of them. The other thing is, I don't know if you guys have seen at all, Lisa Noto had posted on Coffee Talk. I've seen it a few times before, but what she does is she sends out, right after she books the party, she sends out what she calls a guilt letter, which I think is really funny. And it's actually the same, pretty much the same wording of that first postcard I just read to you guys. But what she does is she writes it handwritten, so it's more personal. And she uses, and I'll post this in the Direct Around too, but she uses a fine Sharpie marker to write it out on white paper, white copy paper, and then she makes copies of that on like a pretty border paper. And so whenever she has a party, all she has to do is fill in that guest's name on the top with the same Sharpie marker and the date, and because of the Sharpie marker, because it's fine tipped, they can't tell. You can't tell that it's not been handwritten, the whole thing. So, you know, that's a little bit more of a personal touch, instead of having to, you know, if you do 12 parties a month, you know, that's another 12 letters you'd have to write. So making the copies I thought was a great idea. All right, so we already talked about, we all want a successful party, right? We all decided that's the best way to do that. To do our parties, to be able to work the smarter, not harder, okay? Now what you personally are going to have to do is you personally need to decide for yourself, what is it that I want? What's my goal as a consultant? You know, how many parties do I want to have? How many, you know, bookings do I want to get from each party? Okay. What do I want my show average to be? How many recruit leads do I want from each party? Because when you have those things in front of you, you know what you're going to try to have as your goals for the party also. And that, of course, is going to relate to talking to your hosts prior to the party, as you're coming to the cooking party and saying, hey, who is coming tonight do you think would be a really great host or that would really enjoy having a party? Or who is coming here today that you think could use some extra money or that would be able to benefit from having, a side gig, whether it be they don't have a job and they're looking for something, whether it be that they're looking to leave their job, or whether it's that they are just trying to bring in some extra income that's flexible. So talking to your host about that too as you're coming in, to the party or starting your virtual, with communicating them with about that also. Okay. So with virtual parties, one of the things I do for virtual parties that I also do for my cooking parties is I actually set up a Facebook group for all my cooking parties as well as my virtual parties. So every time I have a cooking party, I set up the Facebook group, and then I also set up an event off that group. The event is for them to be able to use as kind of like a backup of knowing who's attending. I always tell my hosts, do not rely strictly on a Facebook event, because some people will scroll by Facebook and they won't see it. Some people literally pop on Facebook like once every 6 months. They'll never see it if that's the case. And the other thing is sometimes people will look at it and say, oh, I'll come back to that later, or I'll look at that later. You don't want to rely strictly on Facebook event, but I do use it as an additional way to kind of stay in front of both my host as well as the guests that are invited, okay? But when I do set up the group for my cooking parties, I use SynShare personally for my virtual parties, but I will schedule posts in my groups for my cooking party because it takes me 2 extra seconds to click on a couple things and get them scheduled in the party. So when I arrive at my party, the guests that are there, they've already seen a lot of the products that we have, and they've already seen a lot of things that they can now have questions about before they even come to the party. And I've actually had it happen a lot of times where people have been like, oh, I love that popcorn maker. And I'll say, oh, do you have it? And they're like, no, I saw you, posted it the other day or whatever. So I know that they're seeing it. So for me, it's personally worth the little extra step of just kind of setting up that group and scheduling my SynShare posts that I already have in my history anyways. So I do that as well for both host coaching, but also kind of guest preparation, if you want to say that. So,
April, I'm sorry. Somebody is not muted, and it's really difficult to hear. I think it might be Cindy, because she keeps popping up on the screen, and we're having echoes.
Yeah, I'll mute everybody. No worries.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, is that better? Okay, good. Okay, so another thing that I like to do for my host coaching is set up a I use Canva, but you can really set it up on PicCollage or anything that you want or whatever. But setting up an invitation that you can put on there, save the date, or as a reminder, and I will actually personalize it for my host, and I will text it to them for cooking parties. I'll text them a couple days before their party and say, hey, Sarah, can you send this to all your guests that were invited to your party as a reminder? And then all they have to do is just, save that picture to their phone and then just message it or text it to everybody. So it's, again, another reminder because, sometimes people don't realize life gets a little crazy and they go, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was, today. I had a party a couple weeks ago, 3 people showed up 3 hours late, which was crazy because they missed everything, but they didn't realize, they didn't realize that was the day. So, it happens. The other thing besides those postcards that are, and I'll put the link on the Director Brown page, But besides the host coaching postcards is the host coaching letters that you can use with the recipes to send to them. And it is a really nice visual for them to kind of have something tangible that they can keep, that they can keep with the recipe, but also as a little reminder, like, oh yeah, Sarah, your party is in another week. So excited about, coming to, be with your friends, you and your friends and family, and then be sure to reach out, to them as a reminder. I kind of repeated a couple of things. Okay. You always want to ask how many confirmed people that they have coming. Now, this is, again, like I said in the beginning, you're going to choose what works for you. I personally don't send out invitations for my hosts, but I know a lot of consultants that do. That's going to be your own personal preference, whether you want to do that or not. I do know a lot of consultants that will say to their host, hey, Sarah, I want you to give me 40 names of people that you're going to invite by their, to your party within the next couple of days and their addresses. And then I'm going to send out the invitations to invite them all to your party. Some people do that with a mini catalog. Some people do that with the actual invitations, that Pampered Chef gives us. These are the older ones because I have some of these left, but, they'll just address them and send them out, and they'll just throw on a label here with all the party details on there. Some people will have their hosts do that. It's totally your preference. Again, it's, I guess, what works for you. But you do either way, whether you send out the invites or they send out the invites, you want to get a head count, and you want to have a confirmed head count of how many people said yes. Not how many people do you think are coming, because, I heard a consultant the other day at our kickoff that we had this past weekend said that she had arrived at a party once, and before she arrived at the party, the host said 7 people were coming, and at the party, there were 7 people, and they were all the host's family. So, like, I'm talking like husband, kids. Just like I literally did the party for like one person. So you really want to talk with them about who's coming, and that they definitely are coming, because yeah, you told me 7 people are coming, but how are you as the host going to benefit from those 7 people purchasing? You're not. So you're not going to get your host rewards, and they need to realize that this party isn't just for you as the consultant, it's for them. It's very much for them, and that they're getting the benefits from it, right? So, making sure that they realize that. I actually had a virtual host the other day who, as I was setting up her party, was not responding back to me about me saying, hey, your party's going to start soon. Make sure that you post and welcome everybody in your party. And she was non-existent. She saw my post 2-3 days before her party even started, totally ignored me. And I made a choice of saying, okay, I'm going to be real with her and let her remember that, this is your party. And I said, well, I'm doing the best that I can on my end, but I'm going to need your participation and you participating and being involved with your friends and family, because they don't know me, right? I'm the sales lady that wants their money as far as a lot of people are concerned, so if you're not involved and you're not invested in the party, that's going to be the difference between you having a qualifying party and you having $1,000 party. And she actually responded within like seconds from that message. I was like, I'm going to post it right now. And I'm like, so it's like, I'm spending my time working, like this is my job. So I'm not going to waste my time, doing what I need to do, expecting to have a successful party if you're not going to hold up your end either. But I mean, it worked, it's tough love, but sometimes you got to do it, right? Okay. So, like I said, talking about them, about who's actually coming, the confirmed, yes, they are coming. Okay. And, reminding them about their wish list, like I said, throughout. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're staying in front of everybody, that you are, having open communication, okay, so that there's no question to them about what's expected and what their role is, okay? The other thing that's really great, and I do them, Tiffany has awesome ones too. I'm still learning, you guys. I've been doing this for 2 years as a consultant, but I love seeing what everybody else does and getting some great ideas, but doing videos. Does anybody here, by a raise of hand, does anybody do host coaching videos by any chance? Okay, so host coaching videos are really great. I also do a video in my virtual party too, with welcoming everybody to the party and a little bit of my opening of like what to expect in the party. The host coaching videos are great because you're able to send them to them. Also, if you're not able to always get them on the phone or to always get in contact with them via messenger or via texting, so you can go over, hey, Sarah, I'm so excited to do your party today, or you can leave it generic and reuse it for everybody that you want as the host. It's totally your choice. But, I'm really excited for your party to get started. Remember, your participation, I'm talking about a virtual here, is key for you to be able to be involved in your party and for you to be posting and commenting. I will be sending you posts to put in the party daily so that you can be interacting with your guests, and definitely feel free to tag anyone that you think would like a particular product or recipe or a game that you think they would like to play or whatever it is, okay? Reminding them about their host rewards. And don't forget, I know that you really wanted to get the Rock Rock slow cooker set, so that's what we're going to have you be able to get for free or at least 50% off during your party. Any questions you have throughout, definitely let me know. Like videos that you're able to kind of hold on to and send them individually as hosts, or like I said, you can do a generic one to be able to use for everybody. So the keeping track of what you've done, right, is a little tricky sometimes. So what have you done? Who did you send a host packet out to? Who have you sent a postcard to with what's next? Who have you scheduled a Facebook group for, or whatever the case may be? You guys know that there's the host information and checklist on Consultants Corner. If you don't know where it is, I can post it. I'll post that in the Director Bound. I'm just gonna post a whole lot of stuff in Director Bound today, so you guys are gonna have to scroll right through and find everything. But it's a really great way to be able to throw a whole punches in the checklist and keep it in a binder for all your hosts, so you're able to kind of have everything at your fingertips, and then you can check them off as you do them. Okay, so you have everything in front of you, when you're reinforcing with them. Yes, you already you invited 40 people, or if you're sending out the invites yourself, that's something that you would be able to cross off also. That you've already talked to them about outside orders, that you've explained to them about their host special and the guest special for the month. So those kinds of things that you can know, if you have multiple parties going at once, you're able to keep track of it all for everybody's parties. All right. So continuing with the host coaching, like I said before, part of it is the skill, and part of that is your comfort with the products, with your comfort with the host, with our host rewards, with your comfort of being able to know that you can help people solve problems, whatever those problems are for them personally in their kitchen. So you're going to want to talk about yourself personally and what things work for you in your kitchen or with your kids and your craziness of activities and whatever, and kind of help them to correlate what could work for them also. Keeping on top of our trainings that we have on Consultants Corner for PC University, Coffee Talk calls, if anybody here is on Coffee Talk at all, those are really awesome. If you're not familiar with it, it's every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. There's a big conference call all across the country that you can sit there and listen to for 15 minutes. Great topics every week. They are recorded, so it's something that you can play back. Calls up to I think almost 2 years ago on there. Which are really great, getting more skills in the way of reading personal self-help books or direct sales books or selling books or anything like that, personal growth. I love to watch trainings on YouTube from all different consultants in the company. I always take something away. Whether it's something I'm going to definitely implement or not, I always take something away from each video. So I think it's really beneficial. And also reinforcing those skills, like I said, with your comfort and with your confidence in what it is that you know and that you're able to share with other people. You know, the more that you do in the way of parties, whether it be cooking parties or virtual parties, the more consistent you'll be, the more you'll build your confidence, and the more successful you'll feel, and you'll continue to be. So in the way of our homework this week, we have a couple of different things that we're going to listen to, and I'll post them all in the group. We're going to listen to a host coaching video that is really great by Lisa Noto and Michael Yoakley. We're going to we're going to listen to I just moved my page. Here it is. A coffee talk with Missy on host coaching, and you're going to share a couple takeaways you got from that. And then there's also a audio that I put on here that I thought was really great that Laura's in. And I thought that was really beneficial too on host coaching. So those are going to be the homework for the week. But then you're also going to talk with your director after you decided on your own, like how many shows are you going to commit to booking this week? How many host coaching calls are you going to do this week for your upcoming parties? And then you're going to set up a call with your director, of course, because we do that weekly, on how many leads did you get? How many bookings did you get? What were your sales? And is there something that you've had trouble with this week and something that you're really excited about this week? Okay. So those are going to be our homework. Does anybody have any questions on anything? No questions? Okay.
I have one.
Sure. Who said that?
Leslie.
Oh, hi, Leslie. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I have tried to experiment back and forth with how early before a party starts. How early do you usually have it out to them?
You broke up for a second. How early what?
How early before the virtual party do you make sure that the host has their host packet?
How early do they get their host packet before the virtual party?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, my internet is really bad right now.
No, it's okay. I just wanted to make sure that I was understanding what you were asking correctly. Okay, no, that's no worries. Yeah, so I mean, a part of that's going to depend on when they book the party, really, because I've had people book a virtual and it starts in like 3 days. So, you know, part of that's going to depend. So I'll get the host packet out to them as soon as I can in that case. But, you know, if I know that it's like next month, I personally, for virtuals, I do try to get it out like a month before, just because I want to be able to go through it with them and I want them to have the information. I don't like to hand out virtuals too far in advance. If it was a cooking party, and they booked it now for like 2 months from now, I would usually at a cooking party, I would give them the host packet. I would also, depending on how far away it is, I might hold off because if we don't have new catalogs, like if it's the new catalog coming out, I would wait. Or if I don't know what the host or guest specials are at that point, then I would probably wait to send it out to them. Because I don't want them to take it and then lose it and not think about it and just forget about it or whatever. You know, I want them to kind of have it fresh, you know, for them. So cooking party, I usually do about like, you know, depending on when the party is, but usually about a month or so in advance. And for virtual, it's typically for me about a month before. And then I do set up the groups for them. Personally, I set up the groups for them as soon as I book it. And then I will contact them about a week or so before their party, reminding them, oh, I'm so excited about your party, you know, that's coming up next week. Your group is all set to be able to start inviting people to. This is what, and I give them the words. This is what I want you to message people individually. I reinforce, do not send a group message to like everybody on your friends list and send this, because I hate when people do that to me. I hate when people do that to me. Like, if you want me to participate in your party, you're gonna have to ask me. And if you want to throw me into a group message with like 70 other people, guess what? I'm automatically gonna think she doesn't need me. She's got 69 other people. So I think the personal touch is really important for the virtual parties, for sure. But you know, I do send them what to send to people too. That was kind of a little bit more than what you asked. Does that work? Anybody else have any questions on anything? So I'm going to post a lot of stuff in the Director Brown group that I talked to you guys about throughout, a lot of visuals, you know, and links, and then I will post in there the homework. If you have any questions on anything else, you know, definitely let me know. And I know Christina has a lot of really awesome stuff for host coaching, and I know Tiffany does too. So, you know, I'm sure that they will post some of their stuff, as well as a lot of the other leaders will post as well. Anything that they would like to share too. But I think while host coaching is the most important part of our business, I think there's a lot of different avenues that you can do with it. So really, you just have to decide what you feel like would work for you and try it and see. But, you know, try a couple things. Don't be like, oh my gosh, I have to do every single thing that April just said and, you know, it's gonna work. And try a couple things that you think would work into your schedule and into your, you know, personality, and what happens. You know, if it goes well and you feel like your party sales are up and it's working for you, then great. If you feel like you're not noticing a difference, or you feel like it's not changing anything, then maybe you tweak things around, you know. But you never know unless you try, right? So, all right, everybody. So thank you so much for joining. I'm going to